Thank you for those of you who were able to join the dance party. Always nice to see you there. We seem to have gotten quite a lot to join us, so I just wanted to thank you for being a part of that. And with that, I'll go ahead and switch this right over to Rev. It's all on you.
Thank you so much. Let's hear it for DJ Manfred Fig, right? Yes. Yes. I'm told that I do that a lot, so I'm going to do it all throughout the service tonight. No, I'm not. Hi, I'm Reverend Felicia Perazader. My pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs, and I welcome you to this space. This is a brave space. We recognize that it's very hard to achieve a safe space. We work towards that here, but we will say and we will claim right now that this is a brave space. And we are grateful that you have chosen to be with us, the Revolution of Love, this Sunday night for our Zoom service. So I am going to shift it right over to Bishop Nicholas G. Brown. He is providing our music this evening. So Bishop, would you please?
Thanks, Rev. Good evening, everybody. I just had another crisis, Rev. My name is Bishop Brown. My pronouns are he, him, and his, coming to you live from the garden, the beautiful Garden State. So we're going to do something just a little different tonight. Why is this still? Okay, there it goes. Just a little different. I'm going to invite you to actually, if you'd stay muted for me, but I'm going to invite you to sing along with the couple of songs we've selected for tonight. And I hope they are a blessing to you as we share in them. And Rev, I'll give it back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you very much. Can everybody see me and hear me? There I am. There I am. Thank you very much. We do things differently all the time here. You never know what we might do at Roll. So we're pleased that the Bishop is here, and he'll be providing us more songs that we can sing along to, or if you just want to sort of be with this, if you're not comfortable singing, that's okay too, but the opportunity is there for you. So once again, my name is Reverend Felicia Perazader, and I'm the founder of the Revolution of Love, welcoming you. If you are just now, we are now Facebook Live. So if you are zooming in on the Facebook, or tuning in rather, hello, everybody say hi. And before we go any further, it is important to consecrate this time with a word of prayer. And remember, I pray in the way that I pray, knowing that many of you may not even pray at all. You might send good thoughts, good vibes, good wishes, or you might have a specific tradition you follow. It's all good here at the Revolution of Love. We recognize you, and we give thanks for your beliefs and what you bring to the table. I'm going to be lighting a candle. If you would like to light a candle, please do. And just the reminder, as we move into this space and a little further into the service, that this is not a Zoom meeting. This is not a conference call that we are in. We are actually intentionally co-creating a time that we have never experienced together before. So let us bookmark that and really be cognizant of that as we move forward. Candle. Okay. And as we always do, let us take 3 deep breaths. And so remember, breathing in through your nostrils and an exhale out through the mouth. If you'd like to make a sound, you can do so. And we'll take 3 of these, and let us begin. Breathing in through the nose. And when you are ready, exhale. Fully arriving, fully receiving, breathing in through the nostrils. Once again, breathing in. And you can hold it at the top. And then an exhale out. Allow yourself to be grounded with each exhale. And then again, a breath in, breathing in now. Make this count. And an exhale. Letting it all go now, my friends, letting it all go. Whatever came before, that's it, that's done. We are here now. And so, yes, as the song just sang to us, God with many names, love, we come before you and we put you at the center tonight. We know that there is something moving and grooving that is beyond our finite minds, what our finite minds can understand or negotiate, and that is okay. In fact, this is an exciting moment that we get to be in, that we get to be alive right now, that we get to incarnate at such a time as this. God, I pray a blessing upon each and every person, whether they are in the Zoom, or they are on Facebook, or where they will be watching this at a later date on the YouTube or however, a blessing upon hearts, upon minds, upon body temples, a blessing upon their energy systems. Whatever healing there must be now. And so we do not equivocate, we do not negotiate on this healing, God. We beseech you, love. We ask you, Source, to come now into us. And we give thanks. We give thanks for the lessons. We give thanks for the hardships even. We give thanks for the challenges that are before us right now. Maybe personally, maybe collectively. We choose to understand them. We choose to lean into them. God, help us. Yes, help us. Help us be better. There is no time to waste. There's no time to lose. Help us be better. balm of Gilead of healing where there might be wounding. This service is dedicated tonight, God, to anyone that has experienced wounding and distortion in your name. We know that's not truth. We know those are falsehoods. And so this service is dedicated to those tonight that may have been harmed in the name of you, and knowing that that is not what is so. That is not what is true. Prayers of blessing for those that have experienced and are struggling with the virus, that being COVID. Those that are struggling with another malady that is medical, that is physical. Those that are struggling with emotional maladies, psychological maladies, spiritual crises, whatever it might be. We give it all right now, tonight. We come before you naked in a fury or in a flurry of need. We know you can take it. We know you can handle it. We know you can handle our anger, our sadness, our grief. And so it is from this place now that this prayer is going to be released, and that this service has in fact been consecrated, and that there is something afoot. And so we release this prayer. We say, and so it is. Amen, Amen, Ashe, Aho. And Taylor X, would you please offer the land acknowledgement and the other acknowledgement?
Gladly, Reverend, gladly. Taylor X here. Let's see, we want to take this time to acknowledge and honor the many paths and beliefs represented here. We honor all religions, philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, healing modalities, and spiritual perspectives. We honor the life experience and wisdom you have brought here today. We respect you and welcome you into this brave space. We emphatically state that disrespect, prejudice, discrimination of any kind has no place here. We empower one another through respect and strength to be true revolutionaries of love and justice. We see you, we hear you, we love you. And as that is your path has landed you on these lands which you reside. And at this time, we'd like to take a moment to reflect on those lands. We are coming from many places, and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they are still here, fighting for human rights, for lands and their culture. It is important not only to honor the legacy and lives of the original caretakers of this land, but to continue to build our solidarity with Native peoples across the Americas and the globe. I am in beautiful North Hollywood, and I acknowledge and honor the land of the Chumash, the Tongva, the Fernandino, and the Tataviam. So please take a moment and acknowledge the indigenous people of the lands where you are located in the chat. Thank you. And I'd like to thank everyone for sharing the memes for the service. We are growing with lovely people from all across the country and all around the globe. Again, feel free to copy the memes and share them at will. One more thing. There's one thing we want everyone here and on Facebook to know, and I mean really know this, deep down to the marrow of your bones, that you are somebody. You are important. You're a big deal, and you matter. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. Thank you so much, Rev. Back to you.
Thank you very much. At will, everyone. Keep sharing at will. And more than anything, and more importantly, Taylor X's sentiment of that you matter. That is something, you know, if there's nothing else that you hear tonight, hear those words from Taylor X. It is vital. This is spiritual soul food for you right now. So again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. My name is Reverend Felicia, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. We are delighted to be with you. I am delighted that we're here. I'm looking at the participants right here. I'm seeing you all in the chat. Please utilize the chat. Keep it focused to whatever it is that we are talking about, of course, but enjoy yourself and really dive deeply into this evening. It's important that I said something in the prayer that this service in particular is dedicated to those of you that may have experienced some wounding, particularly religious wounding. So we're going to see where we go with this. This is a bold topic, perhaps. We'll dive into it and we'll explore it like we get to do here at Roll. And remember what I always say too, that we at Roll, we welcome you. We welcome you because we are what? We are a multi-path ministry. We are also a movement. We are a movement that is working for change. We are dedicated and committed to dismantling violence in all its forms. And that means white supremacy culture. That means xenophobia. That means Islamophobia. That means anti-Semitism. That means anti-Christian thought, thinking. We are dedicated to all these things. We welcome also all your identities, my friends, your social location. So that means your racial identity. That means your sexual orientation. That means your gender. That means your age. That's your status, your class, your ability, and so on. So we welcome you. We throw out a very big net here, don't we? A very big net. And there is the only nuance or caveat, as I like to say, and that is saying if you are married to some structure, system, a policy that is oppressive, that is violent, you're married to that way of thinking without any ability to shift or be willing to shift, then this is just not going to work. It's actually a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And so we are committed to effervescence and not wasting time. We don't say that we are all healed here. We are saying that we are willing. We are willing to continue to stay in the struggle and the fight for justice and for what it means to create a revolution of love. Do you feel it? I pray that you feel this. I pray you do. So we're going to keep moving forward now. I want to acknowledge the patrons on the Patreon account. And so those folks are, let's lift them up. Thank you to Taylor X and Mark Willig and Michelle DeBroy, Jane Lane Greenman, Reverend James Jeffley, Bob Slees, Gabriella Roscoe, and Gary Harding. Thank you so much. We recognize also our monthly donors. We have people that I don't know if they wish to be recognized publicly, but we also have monthly donors. We give thanks for you too. And there'll be ways that you can learn about donating, either from Manny. I don't know if Lola is here with us, but Manny will do that outreach announcement. Let's not forget, we have to do a Revolution of Love blessing before we shift over to our mission and vision statement. And so the Revolution of Love blessing is very simple. It's we see you, we hear you, and we love you. I can see Bishop right now. We see you, we hear you, we love you. We say it 3 times. We say it 3 times and we all come off mute. So is there someone that would like to volunteer to just simply guide us in this? Very simply. Someone like to do that for us? Bishop, why don't you try it out? I see you, Bishop.
I was trying to unmute. It wouldn't let me unmute. All right, so here's what we're going to do. And as Rev says, we're going to do the Revolution of Love blessing. And so I'm going to invite you to come off of me. I sound like a game show host. I'm going to invite you to come off mute. And as Rev said, there's going to be a cacophony of sounds. Such a great word. And so everybody come off mute. Judy's getting a good laugh out of me, and it's okay. 1, 2, 3. We see you. We hear you. We love you. One more time. We see you.
We hear you. And we love you.
All right, this time let's actually feel the words we're saying. All right, we see you. We hear you. And we love you. Yeah.
Excellent. Very nice.
Okay, I like it. Invigorated, feeling that invigoration I don't know if that's really a word, but we're going to go with it. So thank you for that, Bishop. Again, have a good time, everyone. And you will receive as much as you put into this next hour or so that we're together. So please do go for it. And with that, I'm going to shift it right over. The mission statement will be read by Trevor this evening, and then Jay will be reading our vision statement. So please, Trevor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Trevor from Portland, Oregon. My pronouns are he, him, they, them. Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement Mission Statement. An inclusive global ministry and movement which emphasizes the intersection of inner work and outer work in the world for the purposes of healing and revolutionary change.
Thank you, Trevor. And Jay, please.
Hi, I am Jay. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I bring you love and greetings from Vallejo, California. The Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement Vision Statement. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, transformation, and action. We embrace people where they are at religiously, spiritually, and welcome those who may be agnostic or atheist. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and outreach dedicated to healing, transformation, and action. It is a brave space, a space of inclusivity and diversity where we celebrate our similarities and our differences. It is a vehicle for change, inspiring and motivating us to change ourselves and the world we live in. At the Revolution of Love, we commit to our highest good. We transform through a heart and mind opening experience, and we claim our divine responsibility and honor to be change agents in the world. We do not enable, co-sign, or align with any system, structure, or policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. We create positive peace. We practice transformative justice. We bring equalized compassion and radical love, and we believe in God with all its names. We are the visionaries and the dreamers, architects of peace, strategists creating a new world of what ought to be today. No matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, we welcome you. We love you. The time is now. This is the revolution.
Jay, what time is it? What time is it, Jay?
It's time for this revolution. Like, seriously, let's get it.
Let's Thank you. Thank you so much, Jay. And thank you, Trevor, for reading for us. And remember, when we do this, please recognize that this is for us to really concretize what we're doing here and to really, I should say, maybe internalize, to really listen. Even if you've gone to a lot of our services, I'm seeing someone that used to come to services in the live space in Sherman Oaks. We read that vision statement a lot of times, but it's always important to remind ourselves, what are we doing here? You know, what do we believe? What are we trying to create? And so that's why we continue to read it every single service. Yes, yes. Good. On we go. Now, Manny, it's time, Manny. Manny, are you there?
Time. I am. Can everyone hear me? All right. Beautiful, beautiful. I was having some microphone issues earlier, so I'm happy to hear it. This has been great. My name is Manny Figueroa. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm located in Southern Nevada. I wish it was cooler, but it's not. It's 104. How fun. And we've got some announcements for you. They are just as hot as this place. I'll stop with that. All right, here we go. So there'll be links actually available in the chat. Boom, there you go. So take your time and copy and paste those, maybe somewhere you can read after service, right? Please visit our Linktree for a one-stop shop to be informed of all the latest happenings here at the Revolution of Love. You can sign up for Rev Felicia's midweek boost and service invitation, connect with our Roll Facebook group, and learn of ways that you can be of service and get into action. Next, remember, the Revolution of Love is a ministry, and yeah, you can come off mute, whoever wants to do this, because I know someone wants to do this. The Revolution of Love is a ministry and a what? Anyway. Movement. Yes. Beautiful. Every week we present different actions you can take part in. First off, educate yourself. Check out our resources link on our Linktree. Here at the Revolution of Love, we are visionary about what change looks like. Between services, we educate ourselves that we bend the arc towards justice and abolition. Rev Felicia posed a challenge to us in the last few weeks to take 10, and that is 10 days to create, to reimagine, to reframe, and to take action. We know some of you have taken on this 10 days in a very serious way. That said, it's time to recognize, and if you have done anything in the 10-day period, write it in the chat now so we can send you your role certificate. Some of you should have received your certificates. Please print them out, hang them somewhere as a reminder of what we can, will, and are doing for visionary, bold change work in the world. If you'd like, post a pic of your certificate on your social media, tagging us so we can create more energy around this 10-day challenge process. If you have yet to engage a 10-day challenge, no worries. Start tomorrow, today, whenever you're willing, and let us know what it is you are doing. If you need support through it, let us know that too. That's what we're here for. Also, don't forget to go to blacklivesmatter.com and find a chapter near your city. White identified folks also look up a local chapter of Surge showing up for racial justice at the .org site. Surge always has calls to action and events that you can be a part of. Please check out the work of CLUE, Clergy and Lady United for Economic Justice, at their .org site, and get to know the work of our partner About My Father's Business by going to their website, amfb.org. Roll is continuing to work with organizations mobilizing for justice and sustainability. And of course, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. This is something that would not be possible with each and every one of you. If you do feel like you are receiving something here, we want to take this moment to also remind you that this is a ministry that is reliant on more than just the spirit, but also whatever it is you are able to offer us. Any of that, from our monthly donors, from our one-time donors, it doesn't matter, but anything that can be given goes to the cause of community, of justice, of sustainability, and just know that you are making a difference just being here today. But anything, of course, that you can offer in terms of monetary form, we always appreciate that as well. And yeah, we love you. Don't forget that. And yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks for listening. And with that, I'll pass it to Rev. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Manny. Appreciating those words so very much. And yes, we did send out, you should have gotten your certificate. I know some of you did, and some of you may have not checked your email. They literally just went out in the last hour or two. And if you did do something in this last 10 days, please do let us know in the chat. And if you haven't yet done something, this is a way that you can give back. If you can't give monetarily, that's all right. But that helps. We're not gonna lie, it does help keep everything going. And we're change agents here. So please engage in some way. If you can't take to the streets, remember there is such a myriad of ways to create change. Evie was talking about creating a zine and writing. There's so many things that we can do. So engage for 10 days and then let us know. And then you get a cool certificate from Roll, right? Right. Okay, so let's shift. Everybody ready? We're going to do the little shift thing and shift. Okay, I saw like one person do it. I'm going to tell you some now about Bishop Nicholas G. Brown, a dear friend and I would say a colleague that I got to meet last year during this pandemic online. And he is a blessing to Roll. He's a blessing to our lives and my life. And it's wonderful to have him here in the capacity of actually blessing us with music. So please do check his church out, Ignite Church. I'm going to tell you more about that right now. And then Bishop, anything that you want to put in the chat for people to connect with you, please do if you'd like. So Bishop Nicholas G. Brown is the lead pastor of Ignite Church, armed with the word of God in his hand and a dynamic, ministry gift that spans his years, anointed of God and set apart as an end-time apostolic and prophetic voice. Bishop Nicholas G. Brown serves as the lead pastor of Ignite Church, a fast-growing church located in Edison, New Jersey. Having experienced trauma that would ordinarily take most out, Brown was overwhelmed by the saving love and power of Jesus Christ at an extremely early age of 7. He was called out of the remnant and into the ministry at the age of 12, with which he would begin his first fruits and the beginning steps to planting Ignite Church. A social justice and education advocate by virtue, Bishop is a member of several councils and reformations that, as he calls it, create the common good, especially the Rainbow Push Coalition, the NAACP, several neighborhood advancement organizations, and other social change organizations. Because of his spirit of excellence and tenacity for vision, he is often called on as an Episcopal consultant, itinerant preacher, instructor for various subjects, and as of recent days, he has been called on as an author for articles in political circles, public forums, and more. Bishop Brown looks to a bright, bright future of many more years of community service, both in and out of the pulpit, in community and in service to others, lifting Jesus, proclaiming the kingdom of God, equipping and serving God's people, and always looking to become more than he is now. So remember, we welcome everyone here, people that have a faith tradition, people that are bishops, people, lay people. And so let us please really give Bishop a warm welcome as he offers us this music that we can join in the spirit. So Bishop, please.
Thanks, Rev, for that wonderful intro. My bio is normally like 8 pages, so I'm so glad that you shortened it. Thank you very much. You know, as Rev invited me a few weeks ago, I began to really think about and discern the music we would sing tonight. Music is a great passion of mine, but so is, music brings change, right? And so as I've really thought about it and then listened to last week and this week, I don't know, I might have picked something that might start something tonight. And so I invite you to a rather familiar song. Actually, the last 2 songs I picked kind of go exactly where we're trying to go tonight. So I look forward to being in this brave, very, very, very brave space tonight with you. Picked a song tonight called Draw the Circle Wide. And so I hope that this song, that it's enjoyable for you. Some of you might actually know this song. And so I invite you to sit back and enjoy it. Rev, back to you.
Thank you so much, Bishop. I hope everyone appreciated that. I hope everyone is feeling that. And again, like we always say, really receive the blessing of the music. Good. I'm glad to see that in the chat. Some people commenting. Receive the blessings as we go through this evening, my friends. And I'm going to ask for an open heaven. I'm going to ask for an open channel right now, that exactly what needs to be said and exactly what is meant to be said, that I step out of the way, that this message is truly, that it's efficacious, that it's advantageous, that it's powerfully bold for you, and that perhaps that we can go in to this time of the service one way and leave another way, leave a different person behind, and instead moving forward into a futuristic, a model, into a paradigm that is truly about a positive peace and a transformative justice, and how we bring an equalized compassion and a radical love into this world. Yes, this I claim, this is where we need to go. Feel it. Know it. Know, my friend, know that the revolution of love, not this ministry, not this thing that we call a ministry and a movement, no, that the revolution of love, that the revolution of love, a global vision of change making, of you as a change agent, of you as a prophet, of you as a leader, is now. Yes, is now. Yes. We create a positive peace. This is where we've been. The slide we have been on, we create a positive peace. We practice a transformative justice. We practice it, my friends. We practice it because it's hard. We bring an equalized compassion and a radical love. And we what? We believe in a God, in God with all its names. So that gives you a lot of room, a lot of wiggle room if you need it. Oh, and why? Why is this line so intricately important in the vision statement? Remember, we are going over the vision statement line by line for you to know what this whole thing is about, for us to be reminded of what we are dedicated to, what we are committed to, what we are also saying no to. We believe in a God with all its names, whatever that is to you. You know why? Because without something holy or something sacred or something of a highest good at the center, it becomes too hard to not only do the work of a positive peace and a transformative justice and an equalized compassion and a radical love. You know what happens? You don't believe in it. You don't believe in a world without prejudice and discrimination and bigotry and racism and phobias of all kinds. You don't believe in it. Think about it. Even the best of us, when the chips are down, it's very hard to not subscribe to systems and structures and policies that are oppressive or hateful or full of violence. But see, when we center, when we believe in Source, in Goddess, in Shakti, in Shekinah, in Allah, in Jesus, Jehovah, when we believe in love, see, this is where anything and everything is possible. And let us not think that this isn't easy. This isn't about syrupy, passive love. This is the hardest work that we're ever going to have to do. It's the hardest work that we're ever going to have to do. I like what Bishop's bio said, armed with God. It was armed with God, something of this nature, armed with God, armed with the word, armed with God, the logos, armed with God, armed with whatever you believe in to be God. You are golden. We are golden. We can do this because we can believe in what needs to come, the change that is going to come, the change that we must create. There's no not believing this anymore. There's only believing it, friends. That's it. To be clear, when I'm saying it, I am talking about a world where our children are safe, a world where we are not in peril, where people in marginalized communities are not in danger day in and day out, but instead that there's not only hope, but that there's an uplift, that there is life, that there is good. Last time you talked about what you believed in to be God for you. Whew, I'm feeling it. Last time you talked about what you believed in about God, if you believed in God. And I realized that was a bit premature, that maybe the question could have been, what were you raised to believe in? And so tonight, as I sort of diverged already and went off page, I want to bring us back to that which you were taught to believe in, as it relates to your spiritual wellness, to your healing and believing today. Remember, my friends, religion and the Latin is what binds you. And so even if you're not religious, what binds you? And going back some clicks now, going back. What were you taught to believe? And let's get into it. Let's go another layer. Come with me now, another layer down. We know at Roll, we know that some of you have experienced great harm in the name of religion. Because of the way you look, because of the color of your skin, because of who you love, your sexual orientation, because of your gender or your gender expansiveness, because of your class or your status, maybe because of your ability, maybe because of your own divergence with what a clergy person taught. And maybe you questioned it and you experienced harm. You experienced wounding. You experienced religious wounding. We're aware of this here. And I want to name this tonight very succinctly and specifically, that we are aware that some of you, maybe not all of you, but some of you that have drawn to Roll have experienced harm. You've experienced religious wounding. And if you have, if that is you, we really do, we do see you and hear you and love you. See, that's why we say these things here. This isn't lip service. This isn't to sound nice. This is real. We see you. We hear you. We love you. We believe you. We believe maybe I should say the wounds that you have experienced in the name of a God, in the name of a religion, in a religious institution or an organization. See, we know this happens. We know it happens day in and day out. We know that the patriarchy is real. We know that colonization, that colonial mindset that has been fettered in through religion, we know it happens, right? We see it and we see it replicated. And here's the thing, my friends, even if some of us have not experienced religious wounding because of our identity, that doesn't matter. Because our friends on the Zoom, maybe someone right in the next box to you, has. And so it doesn't have to show up at our specific doorstep, does it? For us to care, and for us to stand with, and for us to recognize that we, remember another part of our vision statement, we do not and we will not co-sign, align, or enable any form, any structure, system, policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. Feel it, please. So that's why the question when I sent out the email, what about religious wounding? See, this is why role exists. One of the main reasons that role exists was because of this awareness. Because some of you may have been deeply harmed and deeply wounded. And we cannot allow that. And being visionary means we create, right? We create outside of the box. That's what we get to do here. That's what you get to do here. It's not me, and it's not just this worship team. It's all of us. All of us. That means you. That means you as a prophet. Hello, come back. Thank you. That means you as a prophet. That means you as a leader. That means you as a change agent. That means you as a change maker, however you want to define, however you want to clarify your role in this delicious journey that is life. So I posed this 10-day challenge to you. And for those of you that may not know it, I want to just say something very quickly about it. That the 10-day challenge was all about what we can do in 10 days. Because the misnomer is, my friends, what? That change is so slow, that it's going to take years for us to change anything. And yes, some of this is going to take a long time to topple the structures and the systems that are violent, that are phobic, that are racist, that are full of the patriarchy. It's going to take years. But there are some things that we can do. There are some things, come on now, that we can vision. And that's what this 10-day challenge was about. It was about what are you going to create? See, it pulled right from the vision statement. In this 10 days, and if you start practicing it, do it every 10 days, maybe just keep repeating it. What positive piece are you going to create? Remembering that positive piece, I know I'm throwing a lot of information out, just stick with me. That positive piece is not the absence of violence. That's negative piece. That positive piece, this is from Johann Galtung, you can look him up, that this is about the presence of values like transformative justice, of accountability. It's the presence of, not just the absence of. See, that's not enough for us. That's not enough. So in this 10 days, what are you going to practice? What are you going to create as far as positive peace? What are you going to practice as far as transformative justice? And what are you going to bring in the way of equalized compassion and radical love? And going back into this God conversation, my friends, this is why I say, this is so awesome. Meaning it is so big. This is such hard work. Like I said before, this is some of the hardest work that it's very hard to be alive right now. It's very hard to be alive. Some of our community is not here tonight because there's a struggle. There are struggles happening. Some of you are going through some serious struggles. It's very hard to be alive right now. So in the midst of having to, like I'm saying, this 10-day challenge and this call out, what is going to bind you? And I believe it's important, if we are very insightful about our lives, to ask, what were we raised up to believe in? And if there is wounding there, it's important to recognize that. If there was some kind of wounding that you experienced in your upbringing around God or religion, whatever that might have been, it's important to look at that. Because we need to heal it. We want you to heal it. We want to help you in that process. Let's take a breath. Let's breathe. And if you need to even move or shift or stretch, please, you can do that now. So let's breathe together. Breathing in, please. And an exhale, and recognizing that everything is where it needs to be right in this moment. And recognizing that the spirit of all things good and holy is moving. Its face is moving upon this time, a holy blessing that is beyond our thoughts and words, that is beyond our finite minds. And so if it feels right, I feel like we are pretty lifted, but if it feels like you would like to specifically share some things about what you were raised to believe in, going definitively on that front, what you were raised to believe in about God, then I'm going to invite you to do so. We're going to open up the space right now. So let us sit here until someone would like to come off mute. Judy, please. I see a hand.
My father, when I was little, I was raised in the Adventist church. I will be able to quote the fourth commandment when I'm old and can't remember my own name or the names of my children. I will quote that fourth commandment backwards and forwards. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. But I was raised by very strict Adventists, and my father wouldn't let me eat when my mother was away from the house. He was just cruel. And I was raised to believe that all Adventist men were kings of their castles, and you didn't question it. And then sometimes when the family would have a meal, he knew he was going to have to let me eat. So he'd read the longest chapters from the Bible before we could even touch the food. And it took me years to separate goddess from my father. And that's why I worship the feminine side of God, is because I have a very hard time with a more masculine God. I remember being hungry.
Bless you, Judy. I don't know if you wanted to say any more after that or if you felt complete, but we hear you. We hear you in that. And so for those of you that would like that question again, I'm asking tonight, what were you raised to believe in about God? Last time I said, what is God to you today? Next week, it's going to be, what is God now? Or what can God be? But tonight we are going into what were you raised to believe in about God? So let us hear some other voices, please. If you didn't get to talk last time, maybe take a step. Yes, Gabriella.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm not able to have my camera on tonight, but I really appreciate this. And if it's okay, I'm gonna answer like a little bit differently. And I'm really grateful for this space because I was raised to believe that Jesus was somebody who we were supposed to emulate and walked with the poor and fought for justice and challenged systems that didn't make sense or that weren't right, that were oppressive. And to this day, I really struggle, not necessarily, I mean, there are definitely pieces of what I was taught to believe that I struggle with, but I think more what is on my heart and mind tonight is that there's a lot of hypocrisy from what I was raised to believe, from what I'm seeing lived out. And so coming back to a place like this with Touchstones, recentering in integrity, recentering in a clear vision of justice is incredibly helpful, because it can be very destabilizing to think, wow, when we read the scriptures and we're taught to do X, Y, and Z. However, day to day, it is the opposite, or made to feel like you're the one in the wrong, or when you speak, yeah. So anyway, that there's a lot more that I could say, but I want to leave space for somebody else. So anyway, that is something that I struggle with. And that is one of the many reasons that I'm grateful for this particular ministry movement.
Thank you very much, Gabriella. Thank you for your sharings and your gleanings. We appreciate
Got
it.
one, Rev.
I see, I hear Ken. I saw Evie's hand first. So we're going to go to Evie. And then if that was you, Ken Herbs, we will go to you. First, Evie, please.
Hi, thank you, Rev. This is kind of hard to put in a few minutes, hopefully not too many. So I'll start kind of at the beginning. I'm born of Jewish ancestry. We were not religious, but, and I didn't understand this back then, but the patriarchy of the religion had hurt me then. My brother was studying his Haftorah for his bar mitzvah, which is just a memorization of sounds. They don't really even need to understand what it says. And during that time, I wanted more spiritually. And I asked my parents to send me to Hebrew school so I could understand the Bible in its original forms, or closest to its original forms, closer to. And they said we couldn't afford it. And I had emotional reactions to that. Like I say, I didn't really understand the patriarchal aspect of that back then. So I proceeded to move on over the next couple of decades through worshipful levels of other religions, and seemed to come up empty in each of them. Maybe I was too judgmental myself of the things that didn't feel right to me, but they were just things, and I needed to keep moving on till I came across my own understanding. And for a while, I thought I was a consensus of one back in the Occupy era, where we talked consensus 100%. And I thought that spiritually I was consensus of one. And I've come to learn that's not true, and I'm very grateful. But there really still was no place for those who believed in a bigger circle. For us to gather and not feel like we're tiptoeing because we don't know what's cool to say around people who still are faith-based into other religions, specific religions. And that's been my path till now. And sometimes these hurts from the different practices that I explored, they come back up and give me emotions that I don't want to be feeling right now. But, and to try to keep it generalized, people in my life have some socio-political, religious beliefs at the moment that are making life very difficultly for me in my personal world. So that's, I think, best I can do right now.
Thank you, Evie.
Thank you.
That's why Roll exists. A lot of the reasons you just named. So we're grateful that you're here. We're grateful that all of you are here. And so from Evie now, we're going to go to Ken Herbs, and then I see Gustavo. So first, Ken, please. Ken.
Thanks. I just, somehow or another, I was thinking about it the other day. Maybe it was the email that made me think of it. But I was thinking about how in Catholic school, I remember a nun explaining me, and it didn't really, I won't say it wounded me or hurt me, but I was in, complete disagreement with it initially when she explained that I think the way the Bible teaches it is that the Jews, Pontius Pilate asked, should we, who should we put to death? Is it the thieves or is it Christ? Who should be put to death? And I guess the way the Bible teaches it, that the crowds and the Jews, I believe the Jews, said, put Christ to death and not the thieves. And she explained that I did that. We all did that. And I said, no, we didn't. I didn't do that. I said, I didn't do that. I wouldn't do something like that. I don't know if I just wouldn't do that. She said, oh no, you did that. And I think it was right around here when I began to say, well, I'm not buying all of this stuff here. So today I don't have a problem with religions, but I see how some teachings can be really hard on people. And thanks, Avi, for sharing your piece and everyone else. And that's all I got. And the part about living forever and ever, that actually was a little bit, that gave me a headache one day. I said, oh my goodness, I couldn't contemplate. How am I supposed to live forever and ever? Heaven, that just seemed to be a concept a little bit much. So anyway, I hope you guys have a nice day. Nice to see everybody here.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Herbs. And now Gustavo, please. Good to see you.
Oh, hi, it's really great to see you, Reverend Felicia, and everybody. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Well, I was raised very conservatively Mexican Roman Catholic, but really conservative. And my aunt, who I looked up to and admired, and she always used to read those huge Bibles that like gold leaf trim, or at least look like it, and they have all the paintings from Michelangelo, and so she would always be reading that Bible in Spanish, and I would look at the pictures, and I thought God was white or like Italian looking, and I thought he looked like an ex-bodybuilder or something, and I thought God was not like me. I was not that. I was darker, and I learned from ancestors that first, that something like every sin is equal. There's no better or worse sins, but then at the same time, the sin I was taught of homosexuality was something that was so horrible and despicable, disgusting, that we weren't even supposed to talk about. And so growing up gay at age like 6 years old, I felt like an outcast, and that God would, like there was this monster inside of me that I never talk about, never tell anybody about. My friend, my mother, not the teacher, not anybody at all, with no exceptions. I'm hearing that a lot of people have felt like okay. Oh, sorry.
I think your connection is.
I'm sorry. I got distracted. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I stopped.
Yes. It's a
What was
little
that?
wobbly, Gus. Your connection is unfortunately a little unstable. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
We could go to the next person. Yeah.
is there something you just wanted to add on towards just to feel a little more complete there quickly?
Just that I feel everyone here, and yeah, just that I feel you all, and I resonate with what people are saying. And thank you.
Thank you, Gus. We're glad that you're here. We're at 7-11. We're at 7-11, and I want to be mindful and aware if there's one person that really would like to share about what you were raised to believe in, about God, something that really is just burgeoning. I feel like there might be one more. So let's just hold the space, please. I see Betsy. So Betsy, you'll close us out.
I'm going to leave my camera off, if that's okay, Rev.
Yes.
I was listening on Facebook. Hello, everyone. And I came on here. I have a lot of problems with this. I was raised Catholic, and I knew the 10 Commandments, and then my dad pulled me out. I don't know why, but they were very abusive back then. And all I remembered the 10 Commandments, and I couldn't memorize the Our Father. I didn't memorize it till I got to AA. And so I have 33 years in clean and sober. But what happened was we had to confess our first confession, and I had nothing to confess. And I asked a little girl what she was going to confess. I really couldn't. It was 7. And she said, well, I steal money from my mom's purse. So I took change so I could have something to confess. And later in my life, when I had a habit, that became what I did. Well, thank God, not all the time, but that's where I would go. But with this last administration, we burned millions of people in the name of God that didn't conform when church and state was mixed. And then we got this administration that started doing that and dividing us. But a lot of people aren't educated. They just learn what they're taught in churches. And that's why I like listening to you, because I can sit down and talk to you about stuff that I had learned in the university, where they have proof of this stuff. And I get it. I also have a brother that was involved in a cult. He's not right to this day. He's schizophrenic, but he wasn't like that. Maybe it came out, but when we got into it, it gets deep. I'm just like, that's why I have a lot of trust issues. And sometimes, so I'm really grateful for you, because you're very open-minded, and I don't want to go on. I can go on and on. My Jesus was against the establishment. He knocked over taxpayers' tables, hung out with prostitutes and thieves, and healed them, and healed the sick. Not what we've been seeing. And I don't know. That's all I want to go. Just thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you, Betsy. Thank you for your step outwards to share with us. And thank you to everybody that just shared to the level that you were comfortable in sharing and being brave in this way. This is this topic on God. I wanted to go there last week and this week, and we're going to go there one more time next week. Next week, it's going to be different. I'm going to post something to you called the God Project, which is something that we did in Berkeley when we had service, which is where you get to create God for you today, not yesterday, not what just even in this moment, but maybe your future divinity, your future divine being. And not what you were raised, as we discussed tonight, what you were raised to believe in. But this God Project is designed, let's bring it home now. this God project and this whole exegesis, this whole conversation, these conversations we've been having about God is for your spiritual uplift. I talked about a spiritual container maybe a month ago, and I said that this is extremely important for you to be able to stay in with the work of change, for you to be a visionary. I said it tonight, for us to really believe that we are going to be able to not just create the change, but that it exists for us is a hell of a lot easier when we have a constant. And you might call that music. You might call that nature. You might call that highest good. You might call that goddess. You might call that Pan. You might call it God. You might call it Jesus. You may fill that out now. But whatever it is, we cling to it. We center it. See, I believe that behind all those names, those things that I just mentioned, at the core is love. At the core, let me say it again, the core is love. And that has to be, and it must be, and it will be our constant. And see, with this kind of revolutionary love, of radical love, this is where we leave the banks. We leave the bank and we go to the other side. We go into the canoe, if you will. I see it. And we go from that bank, we leave the shore and we go into that other side where they are waiting. I don't know if it's the ancestors. I don't know if it's the spirit guides. I don't know necessarily what it is. But it's when love, my friends, when love is at the center, when we avail ourselves, when we center love in all ways, in all things, when you do this in your life, when you beseechingly call out to love in the night, in the day, every hour, not just when there is misgivings or when there is pain, but when there is joy and when there is beauty, and when you continue to be in that rhythm of love, of that which is seeking you, of that which is calling you, of that which is guiding you. This is the weight. This is the call. This is the constant. This is the food. This is the source. This is the life. This is the joy. This is the beauty. And yes, there will sometimes be struggle, won't there? There will be times. There will be times when there's no one to call, or at least it feels like that. You know those times where you feel alone. Then you remember this. You remember this moment. You remember this moment that we have had where there are people that think like you, that believe maybe differently than you, but there is still our common denominator of Imago Dei. There is still our common denominator that love is at the center, that is at the center of us. And nothing, and no one, and no wound, and no lie that you are less than, that you are too different, that you love wrong, that you look wrong, that no lie that you are less than or anything will ever tear us apart. That Imago Dei, nothing can take that away from us, ever. I say it a lot. We are together in this. We are with one another. And in this moment tonight at 7:20, as we close for this last song, we remember this moment. You take a Polaroid, you take a snapshot of how you feel in your system. How does your energy feel? How does your body feel? Take a breath. This is your blessing. This is your thanksgiving. This is your love. This is compassion. This is your joy. And know it like you know your name. This is the revolution of love, your holy prayer for this Sunday night. And so it is, even now. So we go into some prayers, recognizing that we're a little over on the time. So let us put those prayer requests. If you have prayer requests, please put them in right now. And I will not rush the prayer, but we will move accordingly. Recognizing this time was very important. There was much to be said because there is much to be healed. And so we take the time. We recognize it is important for all of us. So Holy One, one with many names, love, one with many names. We give thanks, we give thanks, we love you, and we love you, and we love you some more. And a prayer blessing and healing again upon everybody here on the Facebook, on the YouTube, whoever sees this, whenever they see it, a prayer of healing. And if the only prayer we ever say is thank you, we add that one too. We add that too. So I'm going to turn my attention now to the chat and see if folks have put prayer requests there. And I see that there is one from Dr. Robert Gross, and that is a prayer request for Howard. So please, everybody, let's do this prayer work together. Prayer request for Howard, who lost his husband earlier this year and is having medical problems. And so we lift up Howard, recognizing the spirit of his husband on the other side now, and asking for that support for Howard in all ways. And a prayer for our absent companions. We lift up David, who has recently lost his aunt and is on travel, is traveling now to the funeral, lifting David up, and Margaret as she has been traveling her own way. And so prayer of traveling mercies for both of them as they go to their respective places. Prayers for the folks that are unhoused, our families that we see on the streets, that we may work towards a culture that is not impoverished, that is instead visibly creative in the ways that we are going to care for one another, all of us. And on behalf of Taylor X, we lift up Taylor X, a prayer of silent, it sounds like a silent prayer request for help, And so we really lift you up, Taylor. Everybody, please lift up Taylor X right now, recognizing his sovereignty and his divinity, and that the tools are there for him. And at the same time, he should not, and he does not need to do any of this alone. That we are here for him, and that of course, God is at the center. And on behalf of Evie, for her grandkids and for protection from the pandemic, and there's more exposure to unmasked public, and then she's feeling okay about. So a prayer, I would say, of ease as well. Any calm that needs to come in to be ushered in, please praying for that as well, Holy One. And again, those grandkids of hers. And then on behalf of Ken Herbs, we also lift up Ken Herbs as he embarks on an uncertain path for work and living space. And we appreciate Ken trusting in God. And we also, again, recognize that we have to come together and we have to lift up our companions like Ken. And so on behalf of Betsy, prayer for all of us in our world, and recognizing that we are all one. Thank you for that, Betsy. Love you too. Yes. And yes, thank you, Evie. Prayers for those of you that I see that have not been back at Roll in a while that are here. Blessings to your bodies, blessings to your minds, blessings to your spirits and to your souls. We love you. And God, allow us to just be agents of your will. Allow us to hear you and to really center you. We recognize that faith is sometimes hard for people. And so a blessing of an eradication of doubts that sometimes happen, and that people can instead have an assuredness and a certainty about who they are and what they need. So we lift up these prayers right now. We recognize that we can come back to this point at any time in our mind's eye, but right now we must close. And so we breathe once again, another breath, breathing in. With every breath we push out from the banks and we embark on a new journey. And we thank you, God, for being with us on this journey, knowing that we are never alone, that you are always at the center. Blessings for protection between now and next Sunday. Blessings upon each and every person for protection and safeguard. And we say now, and the people said, and so it is. Amen, Amen, Ashe, and Aho. And now we will have Bishop in a final song.
So I'm going to invite you just for just a second, just to sort of close your eyes and imagine the world as Rev has led us tonight. I invite you to just sort of take a breath, just sit and still for a moment as we share in our last song tonight, a song that I hope paints a vision for a better world and a better time together. It's kind of dear to me. It's called In the Midst of New Dimensions.
Now
Yes. Oh, Bishop, we can't hear you.
No, I was saying I wanted to make sure it stopped. And Rev, back to you.
Thank you so much. Everybody, let's please give thanks for Bishop and this music. Thank you, Bishop, so very much. And thank you, all of you, for being here and taking a good portion of your Sunday evening to be with us and talk about things that matter, that we can hear you, and that we can prayerfully heal. Yes, heal. So we're going to see you next Sunday, and we're going to talk about what God is, what God can be. Let's frame it like that. What God can be. Let's be really bold and visionary about this, my friends. This is exciting stuff. So between now and then, please take good care of yourself. Check in with each other. We love you. We see you. We hear you. And again, we love you. Thanks for everything, everybody. Thank you to this worship team. Please, everyone, come off your mute if you'd like and say your goodbyes.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Robert.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a good
Great
week.
service. Take care.
Peace
Good night,
to you.
Bishop.
You
Good night,
well.
everyone.
Good night, Bishop. Thanks for the songs.
Hey, Kim.
Good to see you, Julie. Bye. Hi. It's great to see you again.
Nice to meet you, Nancy.
Yeah, hi, Nancy.
Hello.
Hello.
Peace to you.
Peace to you. Thanks for being with us.
Be gentle with yourselves.
Oh, thank you. Likewise, likewise. So we'll go quickly, the team, for a little bit, and then we'll head out on the other link.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.